Welcome back. Now, Public Protector Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane says that she has closed a number of investigations involving allegations of wrongdoing that were reported to her office. Now, these cases include, among others, an allegation against President Cyril Ramaphosa that he failed to uphold the Constitution and did not provide protection to whistleblower Thabiso Zulu, two allegations of maladministration and improper conduct against Minister of Public Enterprises Pravin Gordhan have also been closed, and allegations against former Minister of Finance Tito Mboweni that he irregularly appointed Ranjeni Munusamy to the position of Community Outreach Officer. Another closed case is that of former DA Leader Mmusi Maimane, who was alleged to have violated the Code of Ethical Conduct and Disclosure of Members' Interests. The investigations were closed on various grounds, including insufficient evidence to substantiate the allegations. The Public Protector Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane joins us now via Zoom to tell us a little bit more about these. Advocate, good morning. Thanks for speaking to us here on Morning Live.
Good morning, Morning Live. Good morning to your listeners and viewers. Thank you for inviting us to this forum.
So, Advocate, there were several cases, of course, to run through. And if we look at, for example, the two cases that your office investigated against Public Enterprises Minister Pravin Gordhan, he has been exonerated on both. Let's talk to those and the grounds on which those cases were closed.
Okay, thanks, Sakina. The first one related to the allegation that Minister Gordhan was in violation of the Executive Ethics Code, in fact, the investigation was launched by the EFF, alleging that he illegally instructed the chairperson of Mango Board of Directors, Mr. Chiseve, through his advisor to ensure that Mr. Nico Node was appointed to the position of CEO of Mango. So that investigation, normally when we receive a complaint, we then bring the complaint to the attention of the minister. But further, we interviewed the board of Mango, the chairperson, Mr. Chiseve. We interviewed even the former CEO of SAA, who was also at first was not included in the panel of people who were supposed to interview the CEO, and then the post was then re-advertised, and then there was a second panel which was constituted. And from there, we also interviewed the former CEO, it was of SAA, who was also interviewed. And the information which we have and the evidence which we have, which is mentioned in the closing report, reveal that we don't have any evidence which supports the allegation that the minister instructed the chairperson of Mango Board to appoint Bayzet and Hold. What is very clear there is that the interviews were conducted, and it was the decision of the panel members. And as well, you'd know that the Minister of Public Enterprises, according to the Memorandum of Incorporation, is the shareholder who is supposed to be involved in the process of appointing the CEO of Mango Board.
And then just taking a look at one of the other cases, Advocate Mkhwebane, that against President Cyril Ramaphosa, the allegation that he failed to uphold the Constitution and did not provide protection to whistleblower Thabiso Zulu. Now, this is a very interesting one because Thabiso Zulu has been on this show on many other media platforms after it was determined by your office that he also should receive protection, and it just did not happen for the longest time. So what did you find in that regard?
In this regard, the complaint was brought by Mr. Zulu, which complaint he alleged that after the assassination attempt on his life, he spoke to the Minister of State Security, Ms. Lolo, who promised him that she was going to brief the president on the matter. And Minister Dlodlo allegedly sent a text message informing him that the president would want to talk to him. Indeed, Thabiso spoke to the president through Minister Dlodlo's phone. And now it's the word of Thabiso against the president because, yes, they spoke. Thabiso is saying the president agreed that he will avail security for him. And the president is saying, yes, I spoke to Thabiso and I indicated to Thabiso that I will request SABC and state security to make sure that they fast track his protection. And what we've discovered is that during the investigation, that indeed SABC, after the High Court judgment, you'd know that, yes, we issued the report. We had several findings against the Minister of Police that they failed to protect Thabiso. And as well, we made recommendations. And by then, we were not happy by the cooperation of the Minister of Police, Mr. Begicele, for failing to provide these two whistleblowers with the security. And what happened is that Thabiso then went ahead to the Human Rights Commission, where the Human Rights Commission, their mandate allowed them to take matters to court, especially to compel the government to perform certain responsibilities. It's so unfortunate that then there we were never mentioned or quoted as the public protector. Then the judge, Judge Jody Kolapen, came to a different conclusion, which then, in that judgment, yes, he was availed security, and there was an instruction to the South African police to provide that particular security. And when the call was made to the president, already there was that arrangement and that security provision. But now what happened is that Mr. Thabiso, when he was referred back to the South African police and state security, and was availed the protection, but then he refused and left that particular protection. So in this matter, it was more of what the president said to Thabiso through Minister Dlodlo's phone. So Minister Dlodlo is saying, I walked away, I didn't listen to their conversation, but I know that the president then said state security with the police must make sure that Mr. Thabiso is protected. So that's what we have concluded, because we have an answering affidavit of the president, we've got an answering affidavit of Minister Dlodlo. So there was protection which was provided, and Mr. Thabiso Zulu decided not to proceed with that. He left that place of protection.
So obviously that's one that we have to follow up on separately, because it's an interesting case pertaining to the protection of whistleblowers, especially in light of what we've seen with the Babita Deokaran story, but we'll take that up with the relevant authorities. Then, Advocate Mkhwebane, part of the closed batch of cases also included cases against government entities like the Land Bank and the Public Investment Corporation. Please tell us about those findings, because these entities have, of course, also been in the news, and sometimes not for the best reasons.
You know, the complaint was lodged by the one relating to the Land Bank was lodged by Mr. Mulule versus the Land Bank, which apparently, based on the alleged false information that appeared in the media, which the Land Bank said they won't conduct business with his company. But then what then transpired during our investigation, because remember, when we receive a complaint, we will meet with the complainant, determine what issues to investigate. We will then independently approach the institution and investigate the matter, and as well conduct other investigation. So it then transpired that there is a pending litigation in this matter. So, and the complainant never disclosed that to us, because when we then investigated, we discovered that even the founding affidavit, which is before court, related to exactly the same matters which we are investigating as the public protector. So, and it was clear that Mr. Mulule has not abandoned the court process. The matter is still pending in court, and consequently, pursuant to that, then we decided not to proceed with the investigation because it will serve no judicious purpose on the basis that the matter is still pending in court. And in terms of Section 6.3 of the Public Protector Act, and due to the fact that the matter is pending before court, the Public Protector will not conduct any further investigation, because the problem is that we'll investigate and we'll come to a certain decision, and the court might come to a different conclusion. As you know, that we are also subjected to court judgments.
Advocate, so much I want to get through and time is against us, but previously your office was also investigating the case of the funeral cost of 3 ANC stalwarts that amounted to about 76 million rand, and it included the funeral of the late stalwart Andrew Mlangeni. How far are you on that one?
On that one, I'll have to check Sakina, as you have been saying several times, that complaints which are lodged with the office are normally processed at the lower level, are registered, are allocated to investigators. I am only involved in matters when they reach a stage where we have evidence which is implicating the parties, and we will have to then bring the matter to the attention of those individuals through a Section 7.9 notice, like an Audi Baldaram Artem rule, and where we have quality assurance teams, and we sit with them, we go through that, or the full bench where we go through the reports which we are supposed to issue, because today we're also going to issue reports. So I don't have knowledge of that. The only one which I know, which is at the final stages, is the one relating to the funeral of late Mama Winnie Madikizela Mandela, which relates to the Eastern Cape. So that is at the final stages of investigation.
And of course, the 37 million rand Beitbridge border post fence case, how far are you on that one?
That one is also finalized. We will be issuing a report soon. October, Sakina, we are dedicating it to Good Governance Month. So throughout October, we will be issuing various reports, and also we would want to also continue with what you are also doing as SABC, focusing on service delivery, because a lot of our reports relates to service delivery, failure by the state to provide services, and also go back to the reports we've issued, compliance to them. I mean, I saw the Guyana story yesterday. We've issued a report. If that report can be implemented by the relevant authorities, it will also contribute to improving service delivery, improving good governance. So we will also be issuing that particular report. It's at its final stages.
And just very briefly, Advocate Mkhwebane, so we saw reports yesterday of the resignation of another high-profile official in the Public Protector's Office, the Chief Operations Officer. Is that just in the normal run of things, or is there anything else going on there? And also, what's the latest on your matter with Parliament on the impeachment case?
On the COO, Sakina, any person is, has their own priorities. Mr. Mohalaba decided to resign with immediate effect and didn't give reasons. But what I would say is that we're working under very strenuous resource constraints. And we have a number of matters which we will have to finalize. We need to lead by example. We shouldn't be accused as public protector that we are delaying to finalize and investigate matters because that's our responsibility, and our mandate says we should be investigating maladministration in public administration. So relating to the matter of parliament, that matter is still before court. As you know, the Speaker has appealed the matter, and we have been are in the process of preparing various papers responding to that appeal, and also we will then hear how it goes. So the process is not proceeding for now. But I must say, Sakina, we are continuing to work as an institution. I'm continuing to lead the team. And if I must say, hence I said, we'll be issuing other reports today, especially on what has transpired in the various hospitals in various other provinces, service delivery related complaints. Work is ongoing, and we continue protecting South Africans until the last minute, if it comes to that.
Well, Advocate Mkhwebane, thanks so much for your time. Public Protector Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane giving us an update on the recently closed investigations that she's been working on and other matters in her office. It's news time. Leanne standing by.